Russia's war games on the border with Ukraine could rumble on for months, Western officials fear. But after yesterday's predicted date for an invasion passed, Moscow was accused of creating a new normal, with military force being used to bully and intimidate, keeping up the pressure on Ukraine and keeping the West on high alert. Intelligence officials said they were prepared for the long haul and fear there will be no let-up in Russia's war games, cyber attacks and disinformation for many months. They said President Vladimir Putin's 150,000-strong invasion force is to stay camped around its neighbor and may even launch ballistic missiles as part of its menacing military drills. Britain's Defense Secretary Ben Wallace said yesterday that, despite Kremlin claims of a second day of troop withdrawals, Britain was actually seeing Putin's forces move to attack areas. At a meeting of defense ministers in Brussels, including Mr. Wallace, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg said Russia's use of military force to contest sovereignty was the new normal. He said, "There are signs from Moscow that diplomacy should continue, but so far we do not see any sign of de-escalation on the ground." Speaking on condition of anonymity, one security source said, President Putin's military is his most powerful tool but not his only one. Cyber, disinformation and rhetoric are others. Terry's a constant drumbeat. Russian military exercises will continue for many weeks and I expect things to remain really confusing and ambiguous. Russia is also likely to fire ballistic missiles eastwards from its bases in Belarus as part of these exercises. Similarly, British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss warned the crisis could drag on and said it was essential not to be lulled into a false sense of security by Moscow's claims it was beginning to draw back its forces from the borders of its southern neighbor. Her warning came after Britain's head of military intelligence said that contrary to the assertions of the Kremlin, Russia was actually continuing to move forces into the border zone. Lieutenant General Sir Jim Hockenhull, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, said there have been sightings of additional armored vehicles, helicopters and a field hospital in the area. Writing in the Daily Telegraph, Ms. Truss, who will this week visit Ukraine and Poland in a fresh show of support for allies, said there was no evidence Moscow was ready to pull back. We must not be lulled into a false sense of security by Russia claiming that some troops are returning to their barracks, while in fact the Russian military buildup shows no signs of slowing, she said. We must have no illusions that Russia could drag this out much longer in a brazen ploy to spend weeks more, if not months, subverting Ukraine and challenging Western unity. This is a test of our mettle. Moscow has repeatedly denied that it has any intention of attacking Ukraine, despite massing an estimated 130,000 troops along the border. Russia's deputy ambassador to the United Nations Dmitry Polyansky again dismissed the claims as fantasies by Western politicians. "This is a very ridiculous situation. There has been hysteria, even hype, fanned for several weeks by our Western colleagues," he told ITV's Robert Peston. "They convinced each other and the whole world that Russia was about to invade. They were even naming concrete dates. So it happened in their minds, in their heads." Ms. Truss went on to declare that Russia only respects strength and that the free world will not allow Moscow to intimidate Ukraine. "Those in and around the Kremlin must be in no doubt that the free world will not look the other way while they mass more than 100,000 battle-ready troops along Ukraine's borders," she wrote. "The fact is that Russia only respects strength, so we will maintain a strong response alongside our NATO allies, including the United States." "We cannot allow this situation to become a running sore. That is why we are providing vital support to help our Ukrainian friends defend themselves." Ukraine yesterday reacted to the latest configuration of Russian forces by moving troops closer to the border. Another official said, "Ukrainian troops are up for the fight. We are in this for several months." The intelligence picture remains that Ukraine is effectively encircled, with Russian troops in Moldova, Belarus and Russia itself posing an immediate threat, while naval vessels in the Black Sea threaten southern cities such as Odessa. Russian state news agency TASS confirmed there would be no withdrawal from Russia's border with Ukraine for 3 to 4 weeks. However, troops may leave Belarus before then. Bilateral exercises are due to end there on Monday. Yesterday, Moscow mocked the West's attempts to anticipate its actions, with a Kremlin spokesman inviting more predictions so she could arrange her holidays around them. British troops landed in Estonia last night to shore up the country's defences over fears Putin could target the Baltic states. The UK is doubling its personnel numbers and sending tanks and armoured fighting vehicles from the Royal Welsh Battle Group. The Ministry of Defence declined to say how many UK soldiers are now in Estonia, but it is thought to be in the high hundreds. UK Apache attack helicopters will take part in exercises in Eastern Europe, and 4 RAF Typhoon jets will fly deterrence sorties over Romania and Bulgaria.